Hi, I want to share some ideas about classroom management and having your kids' behavior a lot better in class through better use of rules, routines, and procedures. These things have been really helpful in my own classroom, and I hope that they will help you too. First thing is, want to become a lot more proactive in dealing with rules and procedures. This means that you're going to set a lot of things in place that are going to take care of things before they really happen, or at the very least, you're going to catch things at a very low level before they escalate and become big problems, and then you waste a lot of time. So most of us tend to be a lot more reactive, and this is what was happening to me before I kind of changed some things I was doing. And reactive, we have our rules, but then we talk about them at the beginning of the year, and we don't tend to bring them up again until there's a problem, so that we're always in kind of scolding mode rather than being in a more coaching type of situation. So it's going to work a lot better to come up with rules and routines and be proactive in using them. Now, when you're developing your own classroom rules and procedures, you need to think about three questions. First is, where are my students experiencing difficulty? And then, why are they experiencing difficulty there? And how can I help them? So, take a look at areas in your classroom or when you're dealing with the kids where they're having difficulty with behavior, and list those areas. There might be things like how they enter the room. You might find that the way they come in the room doesn't get the class started on a positive note, so that might be something you want to work with. Or hallway procedures, or where they hand raising, learning to have a class discussion properly. Any areas that you really want to improve in your classroom with managing the students' behavior. List all of those. Now go back and take one of those that you want to address first. So you just got to do things one at a time. So take one area to focus on. Then you're going to work through this with the students, not just on your own. So you're going to come up with positive examples. Ask the students, if you're going to be a model student, if you were the perfect student in my classroom, how would you do this? So if it's hand raising, for example, you're going to come up with 5 or 6 positive aspects of that as far as the actual behavior, how it's done. And you're going to list those on the board, or if you're dealing with high school kids, have a student list it. And it may be things such as raise your hand straight and tall, and have the kind of elicit this from the students. Have them come up with this with you. This is really important because then they buy into it and it becomes more of their own, not just something that you're telling them to do. They've helped you develop this. It's much more powerful. So again, it may be with the hand raising, things such as they need to be quiet, they need to have their feet in front of their desk, sit up. Just be really, really specific and list those things. And then have them actually demonstrate those things to you so that you have everyone actually physically go through that procedure of sitting just right, voices off, hand tall, straight, not moving, all of those things. Physically walk them through it. Now the next step is come up with negative examples for each one of those. It's really important here that you don't have the students do this. Tell them that you're really trying to create a model classroom, and you don't want them to do these things even once, just in practicing. So for raising your hand straight and tall, the negative might be raising your hand halfway and moving it around or something. So go through each one of those, and then you demonstrate and show them and say, is that what you mean? Yes, but don't have them do it. Now, the third step is list areas that are almost correct but not quite there. And again, don't have the students show you these. You're going to demonstrate things. It may be almost best to do like a question and answer where you say, all right, I'm going to do one that's just about right, but you show me and what's wrong with it. So you might raise your hand tall, but you're looking away, not looking at the teacher or something, or your posture is incorrect, or you're moving your fingertips just a little bit, something, and have them point out, well, you're almost doing this right, but this is something that's wrong that you're doing. Now, the value of this is that it shows them that you're really, really specific and that it matters to you exactly how these things are done. Really what you're doing is you're eliciting a lot higher order thinking on this, and we know that through Bloom's taxonomy and all that if students are working at these higher levels where they're synthesizing, evaluating, it's going to be a lot more powerful to them. So that you're trying to move them up into that area. Now, the other thing that you need to remember is you're not going to just do this once and then that's it for the big rest of the year. You're going to go over these. It's going to take some time. So the next day you're going to say, let's go over that hand raising thing we had. What were the things that we did? And just talk them through it again, more briefly, but still you're having them revisit it. Now, then you take other areas in the classroom like entering or hallway procedures or discussions, whatever you found that the students aren't that successful on, and do this procedure with them. Then the other way to use this is once you've established it, bring it up again when you think you'll most need it. For example, if you're going to do some class discussion, then before your discussion even begins, you're going to review those procedures. Let's go over the way we have classroom discussion. What are the positive things that we want to think about, and so on. That's called pre-correction, so that it brings in the student's mind before they've done something wrong. We're coaching them into the right ways of doing things. You'll find that these are really, really successful strategies. They've helped me a whole lot, and I hope they help you too. Good luck.